Jannik Sinner starts title defense at US Open, IGA Swiatek and Coco Gauff in action. New York, the US Open's first round continues on August 26, with men's top seed Jannik Sinner beginning his title defense, while IGA Swiatek and Coco Gauff launch their bids to dethrone women's defending champion Aryna Sabalenka. Top men's match, Jannik Sinner v Vit Capriva. It has been over 13 months since a men's Grand Slam final took place without Jannik Sinner. The Italian has since won 3 out of 4 majors, and is favorite to retain his title at Flushing Meadows. The 24-year-old's rivalry with world No. 2 Carlos Alcaraz, whom he faced in the last 2 Slam finals, is now a major storyline in the game. In last week's Cincinnati Open final they met again, and an uncomfortable Sinner retired due to illness after 23 minutes trailing 5-0. Sinner said on August 22 he was fit for the US Open, but his health is still a concern ahead of the World No. 1's first-round clash with Capriva. At the moment me and Carlos, we are sharing big trophies, but at the same time, things can change. You never know, Sinner told reporters. There are great players out there. The way to the final, it's very difficult to get there. Top women's match, Emiliana Arango v IGA Swiatek. World No. 2 IGA Swiatek has had a good year despite failing to win a 4th straight French Open title, reaching the 2 Grand Slam semifinals before winning Wimbledon to add a 6th major to her trophy cabinet. The 24-year-old Pole won the Cincinnati Open, and although known as the Queen of Clay for her dominance at Roland Garros, most of Swiatek's WTA titles have been won on hard courts. For sure, I feel really a positive vibe after this tournament, because in Cincinnati I feel like my tennis really progressed match by match, Swiatek said. Honestly, I already think it doesn't make sense to call anyone the favorite. Women's tennis, I wouldn't say it's unpredictable because there are some girls that are constantly in the top, but there are many players that play really good and can win the tournament. Arango, a US Open main draw debutante, reached the final of the Merida Open in March, which she lost to Emma Navarro. Gauff driven by drive to improve. Coco Gauff won the French Open in June despite her struggles on serve, as she leads the tour for most double faults this season. The 21-year-old served 9 double faults during her shock first-round exit at Wimbledon, and she collected another 16 during her loss to Jasmine Paolini at the Cincinnati Open. Gauff split with her coach Matthew Daly days before the US Open and hired Gavin McMillan, Sabalenka's former serving coach. It was a very sudden decision. Gavin became available. I just felt this was the best decision for my game at least, and I had to go with what I was feeling, World No. 3 Gauff said. Gauff won her first major at the 2023 US Open, and 2 years on the third-ranked player believes she is nearly back to her best. US Open order of play on August 26. Arthur Ashe Stadium, 11:30 p.m., Singapore time. Emiliana Arango, Colombia, v IGA Swiatek, Poland. Jannik Sinner, Italy, v Vit Capriva, Czech Republic. Ajla Tomljanovic, Australia, v Coco Gauff, USA. Alexander Zverev, Germany, v Alejandro Tabilo, Chile. Louis Armstrong Stadium, 11 p.m. Lorenzo Musetti, Italy, v Giovanni Pesci Pericard, France. Amanda Anisimova, USA v Kimberly Birrell, Australia. Greet Minnen, Belgium, v Naomi Osaka, Japan. Elmer Mahler, Denmark, v Tommy Paul, USA. Reuters. The last embers of summer in New York City mean one thing in the tennis world, the US Open. Under the electric sky of Flushing Meadows, the blue courts once again thrum with history in the making. This year, the anticipation feels even sharper. Jannik Sinner returns as the defending champion, eager to prove last year's triumph was the start of something greater. Alongside him, IGA Swiatek, the steady force at the top of women's tennis, and Coco Gauff, the vibrant heartbeat of the home crowd, step into action. The tournament has barely begun, but already storylines intertwine like threads in a rich tapestry. Sinner's return to the throne. For Jannik Sinner, the 2024 US Open wasn't just a trophy, it was a coronation. The soft-spoken Italian, with fiery ground strokes that belie his calm demeanor, lifted his first Grand Slam on Arthur Ashe Stadium's cavernous stage. He did it with quiet resilience, dispatching seasoned champions and fearless newcomers alike. Now, as he strides back into New York with the weight of expectation on his shoulders, the questions hang in the humid air. Can he defend his crown? Can the man of ice-green eyes and blistering forehands repeat the magic? Sinner's preparation suggests he's ready. His serve, once a vulnerability, has grown into a weapon. His movement, always fluid, seems sharper. But more than the technical growth, it is his mental steel that intrigues fans. Defending a Grand Slam is not about just playing tennis, it is about surviving the circus of pressure. Sinner, the quiet warrior, seems prepared to embrace the noise. His opening match drew a packed crowd, buzzing with the curiosity of whether the champion still carried the spark. Every forehand down the line, every clipped backhand return, was met with cheers echoing through Ash. Sinner may not flaunt charisma off-court, but when he strikes the ball, he commands devotion. IGA Swiatek, a familiar command. On the women's side, IGA Swiatek enters the US Open as the perennial favorite. The Polish star has long worn the mantle of no. One with a stoic kind of grace, refusing to let fame or expectation distract her. If Sinner is the quiet flame, Swiatek is the calm storm, rolling in with inevitability. Her game is poetry written in heavy topspin, a relentless barrage that suffocates opponents. Yet what makes Swiatek fascinating isn't just her forehand RPM or her dominance on clay. It's the way she adapts. On hard courts, where the ball skids faster, she sharpens her return, positions herself closer to the baseline, and transforms into a chess master. Her opening round in New York showcased that trademark composure. She faced an inspired underdog who swung with nothing to lose, yet Swiatek absorbed the chaos with calm precision, turning defense into counterattack. The scoreboard eventually read routine victory, but inside the margins was a lesson: Swiatek doesn't just win, she solves. As the draw unfolds, her path brims with challenges: Sabalenka's power, Gauff's speed, Rybakina's precision. But Swiatek remains the constant. Year after year, when others falter, she stands tall, her headband soaked with sweat, her eyes steady on the horizon. Coco Gauff, the soul of New York. If Sinner is defending champion and Swiatek the global queen, Coco Gauff is the spirit of the US Open. Born in Atlanta, raised in Florida, but adopted by New York crowds, Gauff embodies the energy of Flushing Meadows like no one else. At just 21, she is already the reigning US Open champion from 2023, a teenager who carried a nation's hopes on her shoulders and delivered. The city remembers the roars, the tears, the goosebump praising speech she gave on Ash after lifting the trophy.